What do I do with my books after I finish reading them? That's a great question, and actually it's been something I've been working on my entire life. So let me give you an example from The World's Religions by Huston Smith. When I'm reading a book, and I've done videos about this before, I put all of my notes in the back because A, that's going to be less annoying for the people who come after me, and B, it puts everything in one place. I have my own little symbol system and stuff like that. And so once I finish reading a book, I put it in my to be processed pile, and I usually let it go for a couple months and just kind of simmer on it and think about it. And then when it's time, I go to my computer, and this is my digital archive of my brain. I call it XB, Lex's brain. And so I have all of these high-level categories like ideas in human relations, matter in the natural world, spirits and the supernormal. And in there is a whole bunch. It's a file tree system of everything I care about in the world in doc format, along with images for my graphic novel work. And so I also have timelines. I have one for psychoactives, and I have one for world history, and I have one for the supernormal because it's my next set of books. And I go through books like this, and I read through my notes, and whenever I feel like the notes need to be put somewhere in this so I can easily reference it later, I go into that doc and I add things. And I put a little red check mark or something in the book so I know that it's been processed and put away so I don't, do it again sometime. And the reason I find this to be such a helpful practice is I think, like anything in life, it's all about review. And so just like sometimes a science thing, I have to look up on Wikipedia 6 times before I finally start to remember it. Or I have to go into my Lexamancy of new words a couple times before I finally remember what the new word means. Eventually you start to remember it. And so much of memory is attention and association. And so this processing of my books helps me to remember what was in them and to better help remember the flavor of them. Also, the notes help a lot because I can look at it 20 years later and remember what the most important parts were with just a couple minutes of review. The other thing that's nice about this is that it's really easy to scan through all my important ideas on these subjects from all these different works that I've read all in one place really quickly. And there is a dream of 2 different sci-fi things. I haven't gone down to the basement yet today, but still this stuff is always in my head and comes out more with that. One is glasses where I can pull this stuff up quietly and just make secret signal and be like, oh, this thing on religion, what was that? And I have it right there in my eye in the middle of a cocktail conversation. The other is that as AI gets better, I want it to be able to review everything I've ever done so it can help me in my writing process. And I'd be like, where was that fact? And I can just say that out loud, and it will find where the fact is and where I originally sourced it from. So that's a little bit about what I do with my books after I read them.